Dead by Daylight. It's a fun game, but it's also not. I'm here to explain why I will probably never play Dead by Daylight ever again. I'll be putting gameplay off to the side here, just like a fellow YouTuber I watched when I was wondering how to play this game better. So what is Dead by Daylight? Dead by Daylight is a video game where you have 4 normal human beings going against one killer, and the killer usually has abilities and a whole bunch of fun stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much what Dead by Daylight is. It's just a game, you know. It's just a game. You're supposed to, you know, load up. You're supposed to have fun, and you know, get better. There's a ranking system, you know, rank up, get better, feel good. But that's not what happened for me. That's not what happened at all. And I'm pretty much here to explain my process of playing the game. I've put about 200 hours into the video game, and I feel like, you know, I'm not the best by any means, but I sure have a very solid understanding of the game. And I've played it enough to know what's broken and know it needs fixing, and know, in my opinion, why the game is not very fun. So what will I be talking about? I'll be talking about what I enjoy about it. So the pros, you know, I'll obviously be talking about the cons. There's a lot of cons. And I'll be talking about my experience overall. I'll be talking about the cons first and then the pros after that, because, you know, it's always good to leave the best for last. You know, leave you guys with a good tingling sensation in the mouth. You know what I mean? But I do have to make a disclaimer. For me personally, I am a type of person that plays these games extremely try-hardy. I'm sorry, it's just how I am. If there is a win and a loss, I want to win. I don't play games to have fun, okay? I'm sorry. What I do within the first 20 hours of booting up a game is I look up what's meta, I look up what's the best guns, I look up the best strategies, because I'm a horrible person that doesn't know how to have fun. That could definitely be a reason why I don't want to play this game anymore. But I do have to make a disclaimer about that. You know, I'm a very try-hardy person. I'll look up all the videos. I'll look up, you know, 8-hour videos of how to play the game, which is absolutely nuts. I don't know how he can make an 8-hour video, because does he get up? Like, it looks like he literally just sits there for 8 hours and talks. He doesn't eat. He doesn't, like, go to the bathroom. Like, is this man a robot? I don't understand how he can sit and make an 8-hour video. It looks like it's not edited. It literally looks like he's sitting there for 8 hours. I don't get it. And with that, let's go ahead and lead into our segue of the cons of this game. What I fucking hate about this game. So the thing that you're gonna notice, the biggest issue, if you're a new player, right? Because I'm making this video for new players. If new players want to get into this game, the biggest issue is the BloodPoint system. The BloodPoint system is horrendous. Okay, like, yes, you know, there's lots of streamers who, you know, who don't have to deal with this problem. And if you play for hundreds of hours every week, you don't have to deal with this problem because you play it so much that you just get a bunch of blood points. But here's the issue, is that if you're a new player and you want to buy, let's say, new killers, if you want to buy, you know, Cannibal, if you want to buy Plague, if you want to buy Ghostface, if you want to play Michael Myers, you know, you want to play all these like cool, fun characters, you're going to have a really hard time. And the reason why is because if you are somewhat good, right? Let's say you've put about 20 hours into the game. You know, you're not a complete newbie, but like you kind of got an idea of what's good and what's bad. All right, you kill a few people. After that, all right, I'm gonna talk on the killer's perspective. It's not that the survivors are super good. The issue is that they have all the perks, right? You'll go against people who have full perks, all purple, which is the highest tier of perk, and you have 2 perks, 3 perks, and it's like yellow, and it's like garbage perks. They're like common perks that everyone has. But you're gonna be going against everyone who has, you know, DS, Dead Hard, Sprint Burst, you know, all the perks. All the meta perks. They're not that good, but they've played long enough where they have the meta perks. And it's a very irritating feeling. The main reason is that they aren't a good survivor, but because of these perks and because they're so meta and because they're really good and that they're high tier perks, that gives a huge advantage over someone who has 2 level 1 perks on Plague. because they bought Plague and they kind of want to play him for a bit, and they don't have, you know, 5 million blood points saved up in archives to be able to level up Plague all the way. So I'm going to show you the levels of all my killers and all my survivors. I've played 200 hours, right? 200 hours isn't a whole lot, but I feel like personally that 200 hours should be more than enough to unlock a majority of the stuff, right? Not only unlock a majority of the stuff, but be able to use the stuff that you unlock. Because what is so crappy about this system is that if you want a certain perk, you have to go all the way up to that level for that perk on that character. Like, for example, Plague with Corrupt Intervention. You have to level up Plague all the way up to level 30 before you can actually... I hate this system. It's so stupid. So you have to level up Plague up to level 30, and then you have to unlock that perk. Once you unlock that perk can now appear in other killers' blood web. And then you have to level it up, right? So it might appear within you leveling up someone for 20 levels. By the way, that's a lot, and that's probably like 1 million blood points that you're gonna use depending on the level of the killer. And you then have to not only get it once, you have to get it twice, you have to get it 3 times. So if you want a certain perk, you are looking to spend a ridiculous amount of blood points just to get that one perk on every single killer. I do not have all the perks unlocked for all the killers. I do, however, have all the perks I want unlocked on Survivor, and I have one Survivor leveled up all the way because there's not that much difference between all the survivors. So luckily you can unlock, you know, tier 3 perks easier on Survivor because my survivor that I chose is Adam Francis, and I just have all the ones I want unlocked at Adam Francis. But all the ones I want were just all the meta perks, right? I don't even have like fun perks that I want. I don't have fun perks like on Steve Harrington with Babysitter or Second Wind, you know what I mean? To be able to use fun perks. All I have is the meta perks unlocked because it felt so crippling to not have the best perks in the game because, well, they're the best perks in the game and losing just feels bad and it sucks. So not only can I not have fun with the game with fun perks, but I felt forced to spend all my blood points on the most meta perks. I felt forced to get Borrowed Time. I felt forced to get Unbreakable. I felt forced to get Sprint Burst. I felt forced to get Dead Hard. You know, all these different perks that, you know, get very mundane and it doesn't feel great to use them. But the fact of the matter is that you get to a point after playing for so long, you feel like you need these perks to be able to win if you just want to win. And then so you're left with the option of, oh, do I just choose random perks and just kind of mess around, or do I want to win? You can't have both within 200 hours of playing. And it takes way too long to be able to unlock those perks and put them into other killers. Because I feel like the main issue is killers, not so much survivors, because it takes really freaking long to get them on every single one of the killers. And I have a lot of them because I really enjoyed the game and I was wanting to play different killers. But I immediately regretted it because I felt like I needed to diversify my blood points because I was really good on one character. And as you know, if you know, the MMR system is based off of one character, whatever character you're the highest at. And if I wanted to play anyone else that I, you know, didn't have super high leveled, like level 15, level 10, if I wanted to play Legion, which is only level 10 for me, then I would be placed around the same people as good as I was on Plague, which was the person I was really good on. It feels bad to go against everyone having DS, Sprint Burst, Dead Hard, Lithe, and all the other meta perks. I don't know. I can't think of them right now. And so not only do you feel forced, in my opinion, to use meta perks because of how strong they are, but you also feel forced, if you want to unlock everything, to use Barbecue and Chili and We're Gonna Live Forever. If you don't know what these two perks are, these are perks that give you extra blood points for doing certain actions. For Barbecue and Chili, you get extra blood points for hooking survivors. For We're Gonna Live Forever, you get extra blood points for unhooking survivors. And I think taking protection hits as well. And these give you extra blood points, which is great. But the thing that sucks is that you feel forced to use this because of how little blood points you get in a match if you don't get 4 kills. How little blood points you get as a survivor if you die. And it feels like a waste of time because you got 10,000 blood points after 15, 20 minutes of play. And it sucks. Not only are you forced to use meta perks to be able to win, but you're forced to use these two certain perks, because there's not any other perks that actually give extra blood points, these two certain perks to be able to unlock more perks. And that just sucks. Being forced to do something in a video game never really feels all that great. Our next, matchmaking. The matchmaking in Dead by Daylight is pretty garbage. As frustrating as Call of Duty was to go against sweats all the time, if you were good, as annoying as that was, I will say Call of Duty's matchmaking system was much more balanced than Dead by Daylight. I have about 200 hours into Dead by Daylight. I have gone against survivors. I main killer, by the way. I only play survivor when I'm playing with friends. When I go against survivors, most of the time, I would say by most, about 70%, 60-70% is about like around the same hours as me, maybe up to 500. But there have been quite a few times, because 30% in my opinion is quite a few times for these high of numbers. There is a significant difference. You can tell instantly when someone is very good, when someone has 5,000, 3,000, 2,000, 4,000 hours, which I have gone against many times. They are significantly better. They are significantly better, and I don't know why I'm going against these people. I really genuinely don't. They're untouchable. I can't touch them. They loop like gods, and they're really good. You know, good for them. I'm not mad about their playstyle. They're really fucking good. I'm garbage. I'm not that great. The fact that I'm going against them is the issue. It's not their playstyle. You know, they're good. Good for them. I rage very hard because I don't hit them, and then they teabag. You know, that doesn't feel good. The fact that I'm going against people with 5,000 hours, 3,000 hours, it's nuts. If you play this game and afterwards you felt like a certain survivor was really, really good, a lot more good than normal, check their hours. I bet you that the matchmaking is broken and you're also going against 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 hours, and you're a level 20 plague. Not to mention the fact the new style of matchmaking where each killer is supposed to have a different matchmaking rank. So you're supposed to have a different MMR with each different killer. But the issue is, that doesn't feel like that at all. I've never played Trickster, I've never played Legion, but when I go and play them, I'm going against literally the same people. Literally the same people, around the same amount of hours. And there is no difference at all. There is no difference whatsoever. And I'm not really that good, so maybe that's kind of an issue, but I feel like I'm decent. I get, you know, quite a decent amount of 4 kills. I should see a significant difference when I play Legion or when I play Trickster, but I really don't, and it really sucks because I want to learn these type of guys, but I feel like I can't because it's so fucking frustrating. Our next is killer balance. I personally feel like that survivors are really strong. And the main reason I think this is nothing to do with what you'll see everybody else say. It goes solely based off of feel. How it feels when there is a good survivor, even just one, maybe one or two, you know, not even an entire team, just like 1 or 2 against one good survivor, like a really, really good survivor against, you know, me that's not that great of a killer. It feels a lot shittier. It feels a lot worse than it does to be a survivor against a really good killer. I don't know why. I personally really don't know why, but when I am killer and I'm going against a really good survivor, it feels like shit. It feels like I am trash and I'm just getting pissed off and I'm hitting my desk. But when I'm survivor and I'm going against a really good killer, it's just like, oh, cool, they got me. Oh well, you know. Oh, they didn't camp me, they didn't tunnel me, which we'll talk about in a sec. That's fine, you know. They did good. They're a good killer. But when you're going against someone and you haven't hit them and they've been looping you for like 5 minutes, that is the worst feeling. And I feel like that is due to balance. Like just that feeling alone, I personally think that's why survivors are stronger than killers, because of how much worse it feels when someone is good compared to the other. Next, playstyle. First, I'm going to talk about killer playstyle, and then I'm going to talk about survivor playstyle. The cons of what this game kind of incentivizes, right? So killers, there's a couple different things that killers can do that is looked down upon in the community because it just feels bad and it kind of sucks and it's very irritating and it's pretty toxic. First is face camping. It's where you're a killer, you hook someone and you literally just sit right in front of them until they die. Because if a survivor comes and tries to unhook them, you can grab them and then you can hook them somewhere else and you are guaranteed at least one kill. And you want to kill early because if you get a kill early before they do too many generators, you're probably going to kill them all. It's pretty toxic, it's pretty crappy. No one has fun. No one has fun. The killer doesn't have fun. You're just sitting there, you're just standing there. Survivors don't have fun. They feel awful. They feel shitty. The whole team feels shitty. Not good at all. Tunneling. It's kind of like camping, but not. So if a survivor gets unhooked and then they run away, and then a few seconds later, you see the notification of them getting unhooked and you go towards that direction. And then you see the person who just got unhooked and the person that unhooked them. Tunneling is where you go for the person that just got unhooked. So you are trying to kill them as quick as possible. There's tunneling that's not that bad, and then there's tunneling that is bad. It kind of depends, really. Kind of depends on how much time there is between the first and the second hook. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't feel good to get unhooked when someone doesn't have borrowed time and the killer goes straight for you, and then you get hooked again within 10 seconds of getting unhooked. Not a great feeling, and a pretty toxic play style. It does work, less toxic than camping, but it still feels bad. So as we go down this list, it gets less and less toxic. It's just stuff that mainly doesn't feel really good. But slugging. So slugging is where you hit someone, they go down, and normally you pick them up and then you hook them. But if you just leave them down and you run around the map, and there's some killers that are really good at this and other killers that really suck at this. So you'll see it mainly on killers like Blight and Spirit, but you won't really see it on killers like Clown or, I don't know, whatever, slow killers that suck. But that doesn't mean that no one will do it. It's just you'll see it more on killers like Blight and Spirit. But slugging, you hit them, they go down, you don't hook them, instead you run around and try to knock people down. Now there is a perk that counters this type of playstyle, which is called Unbreakable. Most people run and most people know about, which is a perk, a survivor perk, where if you heal up all the way to the bar, you can revive yourself and pick yourself up. It's not the worst thing, that's why it's like right in the middle, but it does feel bad. You know, it feels kind of crappy to get hit, get slugged, and then a Blight to purposely run away. They don't even see anyone that's near you. They just kind of purposely run away to see if anyone else is around to slug them. Not super toxic, but it just kind of feels bad. It doesn't feel great. And remember, these are just play styles of killer that just don't really feel good. So it's not an issue with the community per se, but it's just play styles that are enticed by the Dead by Daylight system and how it works. And it's the issue, in my opinion, with the game, not with the players. Next is area camping. I feel like I should have put this one up on the list just a little bit more. Area camping it just sucks. You know, it's a ghost face. They're just kind of walking around. They don't have a heartbeat, and then someone comes and unhooks you that is not on comms with you. Area camping is pretty garbage. It's a pretty garbage play style. It's not as bad as face camping, but it's just as deliberate, in my opinion. I should have put that way higher. Face camping. No ed. I hate NOED. If you don't know what it is, it's a perk called No One Escapes Death. And pretty much at the end of the game, when all the generators are done, everyone is exposed, which means everyone is one hit for the entire rest of the game until the totem is destroyed. Sometimes I understand why some people use it, because let's say they're low level, they don't have that many perks. If I go into after the matchmaking ends and you know the game's done, you go to the end, you see they have 3 perks. They're all yellow tier. One of them is No One Escapes Death. I'm not that mad. But if someone has Barbecue and Chili, Ruin, Hex Undying, and No One Escapes Death, I'm gonna be a little pissed because you had some other perks to fucking choose from. But you know, I do understand why it's in there. It does really help beginners out. It does help you get a kill But when people who are good at the game use it, it just feels terrible. It sucks. It doesn't belong in the game at all. All right, next, survivors. This is kind of toxic play styles. This has less, I think, to do with Dead by Daylight, and it's much more of the play styles of the community. One of them is definitely trolling. That's like the most annoying thing. As a killer, there's no trolling. It's more like you farm blood points. You don't really troll as the killer. You just kind of like mess around, and then the whole match is like, oh, we mess around, you know? Survivors can genuinely troll. You know, they die on purpose. They vault pallets over and over and over to notify the killer. You know, they messing up gens on purpose. Just annoying shit like that. Like no one likes it. Stop doing it. It's irritating. Go away. Next is a teabagging. You know, that's just it's infuriating. You know, as I was talking about earlier, if there's a really good survivor and they've been looping me for 5 minutes, after they vault a window, they're probably gonna teabag me. You know, good for them, they're great, but oh, I want to punch them in the face. They're really bad in the game, not in real life. This next one is actually a playstyle, and that is an issue because of Dead by Daylight, and this is gen rushing with toolboxes. If you spawn in and then every single survivor is on a different gen and they all have toolboxes, and you find one survivor and they loop you and then you hit them and then you hook them, 3 gens will be done by that time, because all the 3 others were on gens and they all had toolboxes. And this has happened to me multiple times. I know this actually happens way more at a higher level because of Dead by Daylight with friends, like a group of 4 people. They all bring toolboxes. They all bring the best add-ons, and it makes the gens just fly by super fast, and it feels hopeless. You're like, I have 1 hook and 2 gens left, and they are all over the map. You know what? Toolboxes, in my opinion, just shouldn't do anything for gens. Just let them sabotage hooks. You know how much more fun it would be? Just let them sabotage hooks and maybe do some other random crap. I don't know. This last one isn't super toxic. It's just a game mechanic that is just seen over and 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 over. And if you have seen any YouTube videos of anyone playing Dead by Daylight, I'm sure at some point you've heard them talk about this, and this is Dead Hard. Dead Hard is a perk where you dash forward a certain amount of feet as a survivor and you don't take any damage. And everyone has this. Actually, what I find funny for me personally is that I actually suck at Survivor and I suck at Dead Harding. I am horrible at Dead Harding. I can't time it. I can't time it right. I don't know if it's the server. I don't know if it's my reaction time sucks. I really don't know why, but I can't use my Dead Hard at all correctly. I either forget it's there or I just suck at it. So mainly I run Sprint Burst because it's just easier. And as I mentioned this earlier, this is kind of miscellaneous, but people who are at a higher level, like Otstarva and other streamers and stuff like that, if they're a killer and they go against a group of survivors who all bring items and who all bring add-ons, that feels a lot worse than being a survivor and going against a killer that brings the best add-ons with the best offering. And I feel like that really speaks true and really speaks loud. It feels like 10 times worse than if a spirit were to bring the best offerings with the best add-ons. That feels completely different than a group of 4 survivors all being Claudette with 4 toolboxes, the best add-ons and offerings. It's way worse and it sucks. Now we're talking about the pros. What makes the game fun? Is it fun? Genuinely, I think this is a fun game. I think this game is really fun in certain situations. If you are playing with friends, if you have a group of survivors, maybe even just 2 of you or 3 of you or a full team, that's actually really fun. It's really enjoyable. If a killer does slug, if they face camp, it does feel kind of crappy. I will say it feels really fun. The best thing about this game, in my opinion, is if you have enough friends, you know, luckily I have just barely enough friends. If you have 4 friends that are willing to play Dead by Daylight, it is super fun to play custom games. It is super, super fun. It's great. Usually no one's toxic. I mean, you can guarantee that no one's gonna be toxic. And if they do, it's kind of funny because guess what? It's your friends and you don't care. And as much as I was complaining earlier about perks and blood points and unlocking perks with blood points, I will say that a benefit of this game is they do try to help with that by giving out free blood points with like certain codes that need to be redeemed, or just giving out free blood points in general. Like if you play, I think now around this time, I'm pretty sure you get 1 million free blood points. I might be wrong about that. That might have already passed by the time I've edited this video. They do give out quite a bit of blood points.
Today, Junior?
And that is nice. They also give out perks. Not give out perks. You can purchase perks through something called iridescent shards. Every time you level up as a player, you unlock a certain, you get a certain amount of shards. You can use these shards to unlock perks. And that is nice. It unlocks the perks for either all the survivors or all the killers, because they have separate perks. And it is nice because you don't have to level someone up to level 40 to get a perk. You instead just have to spend 2,000 shards to unlock it for everyone, and then it will appear in everyone's blood point tree. But it doesn't really solve the fact that you're playing the lottery per se of hoping to see it within the blood tree and then wanting to, level it up 3 times. Another benefit of the game is that you can technically get quite a few characters for free through the iridescent shards. It does take really long. I think there are like 6,000 to 8,000 shards to unlock a character. I might be wrong about that, but it takes really long to get that many shards. But the fact that it's available to you does actually feel really nice. The fact that they're not trying to take all of your money, is a plus in my book personally. And as I said actually earlier in the video, I do think playing Survivor against a strong killer, against a killer who's really good, not face camping, not tunneling, but it just genuinely is really good. It doesn't feel just terrible. It doesn't feel gut wrenching. It doesn't feel like there's nothing you can do and it just is depressing. It feels balanced. I don't know how to explain it. You guys can tell me if you think differently. Let me know in the comments. But for me personally, I feel like when I play Survivor against a really good killer, it doesn't feel crippling. It feels like, oh, they're good. Like, good job. Like that's about it. There's no super frustrating feeling that I get personally. And I have issues. I have anger issues, okay? That's why I work out. And I don't get mad when I'm Survivor and someone's just genuinely good. So that's how I feel that the killers are actually balanced, even though some killers are quite a bit stronger than others. But I think the killer role in itself is pretty balanced. Maybe it could be a little stronger, but I do genuinely feel like it's balanced from a survivor's perspective, where it doesn't feel crippling and it doesn't feel like there's absolutely nothing you can do. Another thing for me personally is from someone who came from the League community and then into this game, I will say, me personally, I did bring a lot of the toxicity, and I tried to dial it down after, so many games of me raging afterwards. And I gotta say that this community is a lot better than any other community I've seen. I've been in usually pretty toxic communities like Call of Duty and Overwatch and League of Legends, which are known to be crappy communities. But I will say that this community in general, most of the time, is like really just nice and just says, kind of GG after the game, and that's about it. You'll get some people, of course, just like in every game. Compared to League and like Call of Duty, it's a pretty good community, and I feel like online it's a really helpful community, and everyone's just kind of nice. It feels really weird. I'm used to League. I'm used to everyone judging each other on YouTube and Instagram, and wow, I've never had this before. And one thing I do feel like that Dead by Daylight does genuinely do good at doing is coming out with enough content, and coming out with enough content like quick enough, right? Because I feel like a lot of games will kind of fizzle out fairly quickly, but this game has been out for quite a few years, and they still come out, I think, with new characters every 2-3 months, and that is fairly consistent, and that's really, really good in my opinion for a game that's been out for 5 years. But yeah, that's how I personally feel about the game. I don't think I'm gonna play this game anymore for the sole reason of just how long it feels like to unlock perks and just to unlock them for everyone. I really was hoping to be able to get everything within this amount of time, and to be able to have fun with like perk diversity and stuff like that. I don't think it's necessary for it to take this long to unlock things. And I think that's shown through implementations like Call of Duty. Call of Duty does not take this long to unlock all the guns and to unlock attachments on the meta guns, right? It does not take this long whatsoever. And the fact that it takes this long just to unlock pretty much the guns, the perks, is insanity to me. It's nuts. It just takes too long, and the fact that everyone else has everything unlocked all the time, it feels really crappy. It does not feel good whatsoever. It just takes too long. And I think that's just why I personally won't play this game anymore. I do stream on Twitch. If you want to come hang out, I work out and actually do lifting streams. I also stream in here in the office about once a week, usually every Friday or Saturday. But I stream in the gym every Monday and Wednesday. The link will be in the description of my Twitch. If you still play this game, let me know in the comments what you feel like you enjoy about the game and why you still play it. And if you're new, let me know in the comments if I helped you out. And if you enjoyed the video, I hope you like and subscribe and flame me in the comments. I'm sure someone will. All right, later.